Hello everyone, Bill here, STL Puckhead, back with another video. I apologize for not getting a video out last week. It's been kind of crazy busy here lately. I'm really excited. My wife and I are going to be buying a house here pretty soon, so I'll have a full-blown man cave instead of a card corner. And I'm also helping my high school baseball team out by coaching this spring. So things have been a little bit busy here recently, but I will try to get back on track. So today, I'm going to do a video on some cards that are currently in my collection. I'm going to go over some of my favorite slabbed cards that I currently have in my collection. So some of you may know that I am a Ken Griffey Jr. collector. So I think I have about 16 or so Ken Griffey Jr. slab cards that I'm going to show you today. And then I have a few other slab cards that are just some of my favorite cards that I currently have from the junk wax era. So my collecting budget is going to be put on hold probably until the beginning part of May, until we get closed on our house and start moving and all that other stuff. So hopefully you enjoy this video. The last video I did on my SGC reveal is currently my most viewed video on my channel. It has surpassed my video introduction, the first video that I did, and I'm hanging out almost at 80 subscribers. So I appreciate all of you that have tuned into the videos. If you catch this one, please drop a like and subscribe. I try to do a video every week, even though I missed last week. So without further ado, I'll quit running my mouth. I'll get this swapped around and try to show you some cards. So I'll try to keep this video less than 15 or 20 minutes, but I have about 20 or so cards pulled out to show, so we'll see how this goes. Stay tuned, I'll be right back. All right, everybody, I'm back for the second half of the video. I'm going to get to the cards, but before I get started, none of these cards are super high value cards, of course, because they're junk wax era. None of them are super rare inserts or anything like that. They're just cards that I enjoy, that I've added to my collection, mostly over the last few years. And like I said, most of these aren't even 10s, so a lot of them don't have a lot of value. I just think they're cool cards. So here's a fairly recent pickup. I bought this one off of eBay from Got Baseball Cards shop on eBay. They're a huge baseball card shop down in Atlanta that I would love to visit in person. But this was a really good, or a good deal on this card. And what can you say about Derek Jeter? So here's one that I bought raw while the pandemic was going on and sent it in to get graded. 93 Bowman Derek Jeter. Pretty happy with the grade, 9.5. So you're looking at, I think I paid around 10 bucks or so for the card and then a $30 grading fee. So for this to come back as a 9.5, I'm pretty happy with that. So this next one is a really cool card. Myself and Mrs. Puckhead bought this at a flea market back in probably the late 90s or probably the early 2000s, after, you know, the card era had kind of faded. I think I paid $3 for this card, so it had just been sitting in my collection for many, many years. This is the F-Face Air infamous Billy Ripken card out of the 89 Fleer set. I sent this in not too terribly long ago to get graded, and again it came back as a 9.5, so I'm pretty happy with this. And then here's another really cool card that had been sitting in my collection, hanging out for quite a while. I sent in to get graded. This one came back as an 8.5. There's a big orange or pink print dot on it somewhere that I'm trying to find. So down here, by his Expos logo on his jersey, there's a print dot, and so I think that probably knocked it down a little bit. And it's not the best center card, but this is the full-blown Marlboro ad version of this card. So Randy Johnson, big unit, what an amazing pitcher he ended up becoming. So yeah, even if the grade isn't the greatest, this card's really cool, and I can never see not having this in my collection unless I upgrade to a better graded card. So this next one was one of the biggest cards from, you know, my early high school days. You know, Frank Thomas 1990 Topps rookie card. This one, unfortunately, has the name on front. So, you know, not nearly as valuable as the, you know, the parallel without his name on the front. But, you know, in a 10, this is even really less than a $100 card. But this was a huge card to me back in the day. And this was a Christmas present from Mrs. Puckhead. So here's 1990 Fleer update, Frank Thomas. I just thought this was a really cool pose of his, a really cool card. You don't really see this one too often. It's a junk wax era card, so let's not call it rare, but I think just a neat card. I bought this on eBay recently, and I think I paid about 60 bucks for it, but I'm happy to have it. '87 Topps traded. Greg Maddux, I picked this up at a card show not terribly long ago. I did a trade that involved an '89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. and a Walker Buehler Topps Chrome Refractor rookie card in a 10. And I picked this up and a Fernando Tatis Topps Chrome, which at the time was valued at about 300 bucks. I'm happy to have the Maddux, but this wasn't one of the greatest trades that I've ever pulled off in my lifetime. But what can you say about Mad Dog Maddux? And then I love Bo Jackson. What can you say about that dude? I hope the younger collectors, you know, remember Bo Jackson and what his legacy was to sports. You know, as us guys in our, you know, mid to late 40s and older, you know, can pass this torch to the younger guys. I hope the legacy of Bo Jackson is remembered, because what a special athlete this guy was. I can't wait to get more Bo Jackson rookie cards in my collection. I have his football rookie in a PSA 9, and it's a really cool card. I have a whole lot of his cards that are ungraded that I haven't sent in because I just don't think that they would grade very well, and they're probably not worth the grading fee and the grades I would think they would come back as. So that's all for my kind of random junk wax era, you know, favorite graded cards. Now I'm going to get into showing some Griffies here. And I'm definitely not a Ken Griffey Jr. super collector. I think there are only a couple cards that I have over here that are worth even $100. But just for me, for nostalgia, what these cards mean and what memories I have tied to these cards, I can't put a dollar figure on that. So this Bowman I bought during the height of the pandemic. I remember having this ungraded, you know, raw from when I opened it up from back in the day when I was a kid. And basically in '89, you know, Ken Griffey Jr., probably like J-Rod last year, just kind of took the collecting world by storm. He kind of started tearing it up as soon as he hit the big leagues. He had a hand injury that cut his rookie season by, I want to say, probably 40 games or so. And if it weren't for that, I believe he would have been, I don't remember who won the '89. Was it Greg Olson won the '89 American League Rookie of the Year? So I think Ken Griffey Jr. probably would have ran away with that had he have not gotten hurt. But he took the collecting universe by storm in '89. And here's another pretty recent pickup, an '89 classic. I didn't have a lot of these back in the day, and this is, you know, one from his rookie year. This wasn't worth a whole lot of money, but I'm glad to add it to my collection. Here's the infamous eBay error, the bloody scar card. I had so many of these. I opened so much 1990 Topps, it's not even funny. I want to say I probably had 6 or 8 of these shoved in a single pocket of a 9 you know, a 9-slot binder page back in the day of all my Ken Griffey Jr. cards, and so all of them were beat. So I picked this one up on eBay, and this is probably one of my top 10 favorite cards of all time, honestly. So here's an 89 Donruss Ken Griffey Jr. card. This is one of my favorite rookie cards of his. Just something about how the purple fades into the blue on the Donruss borders and how it matches his uniform. I've just always loved the aesthetics of this card. This was a pretty recent pickup at a show here in Columbia, and I'm happy to have it. Pretty much any Ken Griffey Jr. early playing days card that I don't have, I'll be looking to add it, without a doubt. So here's an 89 Score Masters Ken Griffey Jr., another rookie year card. I always thought this was a cool card, one you don't see a whole lot in a PSA 9, another recent pickup. This card I've always loved too. 1990 Score or 1991 Score had so many awesome kind of subsets within their, you know, probably 900 and something card set. I always just thought these were great. I'm happy to have this in my collection. 1996 Ultra Rawhide. I remember thinking these were really cool when they came out, just the texture, how they tried to you know, mimic leather on a glove. I always just thought these cards were pretty cool. And again, this was a pretty cheap card to pick up in a PSA 9, not an extremely rare insert card from the 90s. This one I picked up here pretty recently. I thought this was just a cool card. I remember it seemed like you got one of these out of almost every collector's choice pack back in the day, it seemed like. I have an ungraded either silver or gold signature that I picked up recently that I'm thinking about sending in. But I picked this up on eBay, and I think I paid 20 bucks for it for a PSA 10. 89 Donruss the Rookies. This one I picked up here pretty recently. This is another one of his, probably my favorite rookie cards of Ken Griffey Jr. This is the first one of these that I have ever owned. I never had one back in the day, so again, I just love Ken Griffey Jr. and any card that I can find of his that's cheap, especially if it's graded, I'll buy it. So this one I also picked up during the pandemic. 89 Fleer Ken Griffey Jr. in a 9. I remember I, you know, pulled these cards out of a pack almost. I mean, this one I pulled several of them, and his tops, or his Donruss rookie, as well as his 1990 tops. Gold Cup card. This is actually one of my first graded card pickups that I ever made. And I got this at that card shop in Colorado that you've heard me talk about a few times on my channel. There's some schmutz here on the label. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if it's remnants of glue from a sticker or something. One of the most graded cards in the history of cards, as a lot of Ken Griffey Jr.'s are, but I just had to add it to my collection as a Ken Griffey Jr. collector. There are a few of his rookie cards that I don't have that I'll be looking to add here pretty soon, hopefully, maybe after we get done with the house. But this was also a very early, I don't remember which one came first, the Score or the Tops, which one I bought first, but again, another very early graded card pickup for me from that card shop in Colorado. I believe this is the most graded card in PSA's history. And I think it has over 20,000 copies graded. And me, when I'm collecting cards for my personal collection of players that mean a lot to me, I couldn't care less about pop counts and how many 9s and how many 10s there are of these cards. They're just cards I have to add to my collection. And then last but not least, for the PSA run, here's the 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. in a mint 9. So like I said here not too long ago, I had another one of these that was really, really sharp, and it was, you know, part of that trade that I was just talking about for Greg Maddux and Fernando Tatis. So I instantly regretted making that trade. And so here, I don't know, I guess within the year, I picked this one back up. And this one will never leave my collection. I don't care what walks in front of me. I will never get rid of this. Not that it's the most amazing 9 that you've ever seen, just that I will never regret trading an 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. ever again. But it's funny because I couldn't really afford Upper Deck a whole lot back in the day. And I opened, I think, just a few packs of it up. And by the time I was able to, you know, get some Upper Deck, I was already a huge Ken Griffey Jr. nut. And I got this out of a pack, and I had opened some Topps packs and had been eating the Topps gum. And when I opened this pack and saw the Ken Griffey Jr., I flipped out. I went nuts, and I kissed the card. And I guess I had a little bit of gum from the Topps pack for the gum that I had been chewing, and it stuck on the card. And I couldn't get it off, and it left a smear on top of the card. Well, things went so crazy with Ken Griffey Jr. later that season. I ended up setting up at a card show with my uncle, and I sold that exact card with the gum schmutz stain on the top of it for full Beckett value, which I believe was 28 bucks at the time. And I told the guy that it had a gum smudge on the front of the card, and he didn't even care. He paid the full 28 bucks for it. And that just shows you how crazy everybody was going for Ken Griffey Jr. We didn't realize that there were 95 billion of these made back in the day. But this is my favorite card of all time. One of these days, I hope to have an SGC or a PSA 10 to add to the collection. But this card is, you know, some of my fondest memories of ripping cards hunting for Ken Griffey Jr. So that's it for the PSA cards. I'll try to get through these next ones quick because this part of the video is closing in on 15 minutes. Please bear with me. This one was a recent pickup off of eBay. I think I paid less than 20 bucks for this. Ken Griffey Jr. 89 score Young Superstars and a SGC 9.5. I think that was a great deal. Here's a couple pretty cool cards coming up. 1999 Topps Power Brokers, Ken Griffey Jr. So this one I bought raw off of eBay and sent in to get it graded, hoping that I could get a 9 on it so it would match the refractor version that I also have. And the refractor card especially is just amazing. I love the looks of that card. I think I got this out of a pack back in 1999. And again, I was pretty excited because I've always been a Ken Griffey Jr. junkie, and I didn't open up a lot of cards in 99, so I was happy to get this. I'm happy to have both of those. I think that's pretty cool that those two can go together. Then we have his 1990 Topps debut. This is a fairly recent pickup off of eBay. I always thought this card was super cool. I had never seen it, you know, back when it came out. And this is a card that you don't see often at card shows or anything. So I got this on eBay pretty cheap. Happy to have it. The rest of these cards are pretty recent pickups that I graded myself with SGC. With SGC, I bought this raw. Sent it in and got a 9.5. 1993 Topps Gold. I remember everybody going nuts when Topps started putting the gold cards in the pack. Looking for, you know, gold parallels of the big stars and hot rookies. So this is a pretty cool card for me to have. This one I graded myself. I cracked it out of a factory sealed case. So just keep in mind, or box. So just keep in mind, if you buy these Donruss sets that are sealed in the cellophane, that cellophane puts a lot of pressure on the corner of the cards. And this one, you know, if you loop it, you can see that the corners are just a smidge rounded. And I think that's the reason why this graded as an 8.5. You might be able to see that corner right there. But you know, I'll probably sell that at some point just because I have a PSA 9, and I'm not big on having duplicates, especially if I can use that to get a card that I don't have. This one I got out of a sealed score set, sent in myself to get graded. I really thought it was going to come back a 10, but it's Ken Griffey Jr, so I'm happy to have it in a 9.5. But again, another great insert set or subset in the you know, early 90s score sets. These Dream Team cards were awesome. I've always loved this Ken Griffey Jr card. He had so many cards in this 91 score set, you know, and eventually I'll get them all graded. All right, and so here we go for the last one, and then I'll get off here. We got a 1994 Topps Black Gold Ken Griffey Jr. This was in the pickup with a 93 gold that I got off of eBay. I sent this one in also and got a 9. I think these are super cool cards. Topps recently started redoing these last year, but I don't buy any of the new stuff, so I would much rather have this than any of the new ones I could pull out of a pack nowadays. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you stuck around. It went probably about 22 minutes total. My analytics show me that you guys can only put up with me for about 4 minutes. So I'm hoping that some of you stuck around till the end. But I appreciate you for watching. Again, if you would, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm at 76 or 77 subscribers, I believe. I'm really hoping that I can bust 100 here in the next few months or so. And again, I appreciate all your support. Thanks for coming by, and I will catch you on the next one.